Welcome to Read Aloud. Read Aloud presents romantic, horror, classic short stories. Today's story, Kolkata, where love begins. Kolkata, the city of joy, had a rhythm of its own. The bustling streets hummed with life, the aroma of fresh jalebis wafted through the air, and the old trams clanged their way through the city like time travelers. Amidst this chaotic beauty, to strangers, Ananya and Rishi were about to cross paths in a way that would change their lives forever. Ananya was a journalist who loved Kolkata with all her heart. She found beauty in its chaos, poetry in its narrow lanes, and magic in its sunsets by the Hooghly River. Her days were spent chasing stories, but her evenings were reserved for the little cafe near College Street, where she sipped her favorite Darjeeling tea and wrote her musings. Rishi, on the other hand, was a recent transplant from Mumbai. A corporate professional, he had reluctantly moved to Kolkata for work. To him, the city felt like an old, dusty book, its charm buried under layers of noise and heat. But one evening, he decided to take a walk near the Howrah Bridge, hoping to see what everyone seemed to romanticize about this city. It was at the cafe that their worlds collided. Ananya was at her usual corner table, engrossed in her notes, while Rishi walked in, seeking refuge from the cacophony of the streets. The only available seat was across from Ananya.
Mind if I sit here?
She looked up, slightly annoyed at the interruption, but nodded.
Sure.
Rishi ordered a black coffee, but his eyes kept drifting to Ananya's notebook. The words, Kolkata, a love letter, were scribbled at the top.
You're a writer?
A journalist.
She replied, not looking up.
Writing about Kolkata. I see.
You don't seem like a local.
I'm not. Moved here a month ago. Still trying to figure out what's so special about this place.
You are not looking in the right places then.
That evening marked the beginning of an unlikely friendship. Ananya took it upon herself to show Rishi the soul of Kolkata. She led him through the narrow lanes of Kumurtli, where artisans mold idols of gods and goddesses with painstaking precision. She introduced him to the sweet symphony of Sandesh at the iconic sweet shops. They spent afternoons strolling through the sprawling Maidan, where children flew kites, and evenings by the ghats, watching the golden hues of the setting sun reflecting on the Hooghly. Rishi began to see the city through Ananya's eyes, its imperfections no longer a burden but a part of its charm. And in the process, he began to see her differently too. One monsoon evening, as the city was drenched in a torrential downpour, Rishi and Ananya found themselves under the same umbrella, walking along Park Street. The rain had slowed the city down, and the usual noise was replaced by the soft patter of raindrops.
Do you miss Mumbai?
Not anymore.
He replied, looking at her. She stopped walking and turned to him, her eyes searching his face.
Why?
Because Kolkata gave me something Mumbai never could. You.
Anya's breath hitched. She had always been the kind of person who believed in love but never expected to find it in the middle of her chaotic life.
Rishi.
I know this city is your first love, and it won't compete with that. But if there's room for one more, I'd like to stay.
For the first time in her life, Ananya was at a loss for words. Instead, she reached for his hand, her fingers intertwining with his. The rain poured on, washing away their doubts and fears, leaving only the promise of something new. Months later, as they sat by the Hooghly River, watching the city lights dance on the water, Rishi turned to Ananya.
You were right. Kolkata isn't just a city. It's a feeling.
And now it's ours.
She replied, leaning her head on his shoulder. The city, with its timeless charm, had worked its magic once again. In its air, under its skies, and amidst its chaos, love had found a way.